Okay, so now it is time to learn about some finance. And before we start talking about how you can save money or get loans or plan for retirement or make budgets, you have to make money. So you got to have a job. So what this video is going to focus on is kind of the first step towards your life as a big kid, which is having a job and making money. And what we're going to look at is 3 different types of jobs. So we're going to look at a salary job, we're going to look at an hourly job, and kind of a more rare commission job, which exists. But typically there's not many jobs out there that are straight commission. And just to make sure we understand what a commission is, a commission job is you make money as long as you are selling something. So for example, one of the only jobs that I can think of off the top of my head that is pure commission is realtors. They are only going to make money if they sell a house. And so when they sell a house, they get a percentage of what their house was that they sold. So even if they sold like a $1 million house, they're not going to get $1 million. They get a percentage of that. And that's what a commission job is. You make a percent of what you sell. There's a lot of jobs that are part commission, part salary, or part hourly. For example, car dealerships. You get paid for coming to work every day, but you get a bonus commission if you sell something else. So not that common, but I want to make sure we understand all of the things. So we really here are going to be focusing on salary and hourly are the 2 main ones, but we're going to look at all 3. So we've got Coffee. Look, there he is. And he just graduated college and currently has 3 job offers in educational publishing. You can tell that this original thing didn't come from a textbook, because why would anyone really want to straight up choose educational publishing? That's my dream. I went to college to get into educational publishing. And he's got 3 offers. That's amazing. Out of college has 3 job offers. So anyway, let's take a look at him. So there's a salary job right here where he is going to be an editor. It's a full-time position with an annual salary of $37,500. There's an hourly job where he will be a designer, which is a full-time position with an hourly wage of $26.50. And this job assumes a standard 5-day a week, 8 hours a day. So that's your 40 hours a week. Typical full-time is considered 40 hours a week. And then we talked about the commission job, which would be a sales rep. His salary is based off sales. He gets 5% commission off of his total sales, and typical sales representatives will sell about $100,000 per month. So I'm not writing this out, but this is something we really need to consider, is that before we start looking in depth at these offers, 2 things. What factors do you need to consider before selecting a job, and which one would you select right now before you know anything? So some factors you need to consider. How close is it to where you live? Because that's going to affect travel. What are the benefits? Healthcare, paid time off, paid sick leave. Do you like the people you work with? Is there a chance for upward mobility? Maybe you start here, but you're trying to work your way up. So sometimes it's not just money. A lot of times people go, which one makes the most money? But all of those factors are going to play into why you keep a job or not. A lot of you at this point are hourly workers, and you might think about, well, I'd rather, take less hours at a place I don't hate because I enjoy the people I work with than getting, 30 hours at a job, but I hate my boss or something like that. Or I'm willing to work at this place for a little less money right now, but they're grooming me to be a shift supervisor. So, yeah, all of those things matter that aren't just money. So that's something we need to consider before we even get into this. But we need to understand how the money and the benefits and all of those things play together to make the best choice for a job. So no matter what you pick, when you are out there in your big kid world looking at career choices, I want you to be able to understand how to analyze what that income means so you're not taken advantage of when it comes to a negotiating table as far as raises or how much you get charged. Okay, so we are going to look, I'm going to scoot myself right up there. Oh, look, I'm in the middle there, at these 3 jobs. So unlike part-time jobs you have right now, most careers pay monthly and not bi-weekly, meaning you typically right now probably get paid every other week. Most jobs, even hourly jobs, you're going to get paid once a month. So budgeting becomes very important because when your check comes in, you have to make sure it'll be a bigger check than normal, but it has to last the whole month. Okay. So we always want to compare jobs based on a monthly salary rather than a weekly or biweekly. So let's start here with salary. Okay. So we've got an annual salary of $37,500, right? $37,500. That's what you get per year. So what would you make per month? Okay, well, we don't have to be geniuses here. Let's just take what we have for the year and divide it by 12. And off screen, I am using my calculator. I'm not doing this in my head, which would give us $3,125 per month. Okay, all right. So I'm going to try and keep this color coded as we go, so hopefully it'll be easier to follow. Now let's take a look at hourly. Okay, so hourly gets $26.50 an hour, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. Okay, so let's do this. So $26.50 times 8 hours a day. And that's going to give us $26.50 times 8, $212 a day per day. Okay, well, that's great. Well, how many days are you going to work in a week? You don't work 7 days a week because you don't work on the weekends. You work 5 days a week. So if I multiply that by 5, I'm going to get $1,060 per week. Okay, there are 2 avenues we can go on after this. And we go, okay, well, now we have to get from week to month. I know what I make per week. Some people want to go, we'll just multiply it by 4 because there's 4 weeks in a month. But there's not always exactly 4 weeks in a month. Some months have 4.5 weeks. And if you just assume 4, you're actually robbing yourself of some pay. So what I like to do to make sure that we don't lose any money is there is always 52 weeks in a year, always. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to jump over monthly. I'm going to go all the way to annual, and then I'm going to divide back into 12 months in a year. To be exact, if you multiply it by 4, you're not wrong, but you're going to be losing money. Okay, so watch this. So $10.60 per week, okay, times 52 weeks per year. Okay, so that would be an annual salary. So $55,120 annual. And now it's basically just like what I did over here, right? If that's my annual salary divided by 12, I will make $4,593 per month. Okay. All right. So there's your monthly for salary. There's your monthly for hourly. Clearly a lot more. Okay. One thing I want to actually jump back and talk about with hourly as far as which one you like or not. The benefits to salary is that you always make the same amount every month, no matter what. So if you left early a couple times during the month, you're not docked hourly. That's what you make. The problem is that if you work overtime, you're not getting paid overtime. You get that same amount per month. Whereas, as you guys know, if you've ever had busy seasons in your job and you work overtime, then you get paid for those extra hours you work. But think about the times that you did not get scheduled enough hours in a week. And then your paycheck comes and it's less than what you expect because you didn't get all those hours. So that's the pros and cons of salary versus hourly. Salary is always the same amount every month, so you can budget a little better. It's always the same. Hourly, it can fluctuate depending on what hours you're scheduled for, and you can get paid overtime, but also on the reverse of that is if you're not scheduled for hours, you don't get paid. All right, now let's talk about commission. Okay, so our commission job is 5% of what you sell a month. So before we start going, I make $100,000 per month. Sign me up. Done. No, you make 5% of that. So we just take 5%. Remember, single digit there. So I'm going to take 5% of $100,000 would be $5,000 a month. Okay. So here are our 3 options. Okay. Hey, guess what? We forgot about taxes. Well, maybe we didn't forget about taxes. Maybe you're going, well, that's not what I actually make. What about my taxes? Okay. So we need to figure out what our actual salary is after the taxes are taken out. So as of last year, the tax tables have changed, and they actually change every year. And tax table is just the fancy way of saying how much you're charged in taxes a month. A certain amount is going to be taken out of your paycheck every single month, depending on what you write on your W-4, which is when it asks you questions that you probably didn't understand what it meant, and it said, how many people do you claim? And hopefully you said 0 because you're claiming 0 people. But that determines how much the government is going to take out of every paycheck, okay? So when we get to our lesson about filing for taxes, something I need you to understand right now at the beginning of understanding finance is that when you file taxes, you are not paying taxes. You are filing for a refund. You pay taxes every time you get a paycheck. You've been paying taxes. So the filing for taxes should actually be the good thing because that's you getting your money back. Okay, so coming back here. So post-tax salary, that's the thing that you're actually going to see in your pay stub, or if you have a company that gives you it on your card, or like it just goes direct deposit into your account. So this is currently, and remember these change often, so you might need to change in the next semester after this video is filmed, but 7.65% is withheld for FICA. Now, FICA is going to be your Social Security and Medicare. So if you have a pay stub near you and you're looking at it and you're like, what the heck is FICA? FICA is the percent you pay into Social Security and Medicare taxes. Income tax is going to vary on which tax bracket you fall into. If you make a higher income, you're going to pay more taxes. If lower, is going to pay less. Typically, though, and I included this over here, remember this changes every year, but this is what's current. Typically, about 22% of your paycheck is going to be withheld for federal income tax. Okay? And you can kind of see where you fall. So for you currently as an hourly worker, so not your big kid job, but just this, is going to be in this range here, probably about 12%, maybe even 10%, depending how much you work. When you're in your big kid job, you're going to be here. As we go through this whole lesson, middle class is completely different based on where you live in this country. In Georgia, in Atlanta, this typical area, we're going to be considering middle class, so like lower middle class, so around 35 to 40,000. 35 is pretty much middle class. If you have a job right out of college right now, or not college, anything, high school, if you have a job where you're making about 35,000 individually, you're middle class. You'll be doing fine. And so that's the number that we're going to kind of be sticking with as we move through this is, that 35,000 annual salary. Okay. So let me scroll down here for a second, and the screen's going to flicker for just a second as we go and come back. Okay. Did you like that quick edit? I bet you didn't even notice anything happened except for the fact that I just started talking even though I had been talking the whole time. Anyway, we're going to move on. We're talking about taxes. So we've got our monthly salary for each one of these, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to take taxes out of them, okay? So we've got, okay, 7.65 is going to come out for Social Security and Medicare, okay? We've got 22% that's going to come out for federal income tax, and 3%, which is going to come out for Georgia, okay? So you can do each of these individually. And on your paycheck, on your stub, it will be listed individually, okay? But the point of this exercise is more just trying to figure out total how much is going to come out. Like, here's what I care about. When the money shows up in my account, how much is it? Like, I don't necessarily need to know right now what each individual percentage is. I just need to know how much total. So we can just do some quick little math over here. So 7.65 plus 22 plus 3 is, you're going to like this number, 32.65% of every paycheck is going to taxes. Woo! Before, if you're watching this video and you're yelling, be like, oh man, stupid taxes, I can't believe it's, okay, yes, You have to pay taxes, though, because otherwise we have absolutely no government. There'd be no one to fix the streets. There would be no fire department. There would be no police force or teachers. And hopefully you're not watching this video and be like, oh, we don't need teachers. And since we're recording this in the middle of COVID, I don't know, maybe some of you are or are not talking about how important teachers are right now. But anyway, taxes are important to keep things running, okay? So you can whine all you want. Now we can definitely discuss how much they should be and who should pay what percentage, but we still should pay them. And this also explains why those of you who get hourly paychecks and you go, I worked this many hours and I get paid this much an hour, why did my paycheck supposedly go from $400 to $215? Like, where did that money go? Taxes. And if you don't budget for taxes, you're not going to be able to make an actual budget because you're never going to know how much you actually make. All right, so taxes. I'm going to do my salary job first here. So let's go ahead and write this down. I make $33,125 per month, okay, when I do my salary job. Now, we already know that I'm going to get 32.65% taken out. Now, remember, when you do taxes or when you do percentages, you always multiply by a percent. And it has to be in the decimal form. So I moved that 2 spots. So what I get, I'm going to take 30,125 times 0.3265. What I get is $1,020. For the sake of this video, I'm not doing cents. I'm going to round to whole dollars just because. So please, please, please don't make the mistake that so many of you want to make, which is you take that percent and you go, that's how much I make per month. No, that number is the taxes that come out of every paycheck. Every paycheck. So you do not make $1,000 a month. As a big kid, you can't live off $1,000 a month. That is not going to cover your rent and utilities, and if you have car payments and gas for your car and things like that. You cannot live off $1,000 a month. Okay, so what we need to do now is take what your income is minus what your taxes are. Okay, so income minus your taxes. So 33,125 minus 1,020 is $2,105 per month post-tax. And that's the number that matters, because if you make a budget, I'm going to teach you how to make a budget, but if you make a budget off of $3,125, but you're only getting $2,105, that extra $1,000 is going to make a big difference when you're talking about budgeting. You have to make sure you're including taxes when you're talking about comparing jobs. Okay, so now let's do our hourly job. Okay, so I get paid $4,593, and same amount of taxes, 32%, 32.65%. Okay, so if I find out how much taxes come out of the hourly job, it's more, because obviously 32% of $4,500 is going to be more than of $31,000. So I am going to have, when it rounds, it actually rounds up to $1,500. It's $1,499.61. So if I round up to the nearest dollar, $1,500 in taxes per month. Fun stuff. All right, so, but that's not what you make. Remember, those are your taxes. So $4,593 minus $1,500 in taxes gets us to $3,093. Okay. And then we've got our last job, commission. So yes, come in. Sorry, we had a guest that wanted to come in at the door. But I think that he is going to go get his diaper changed, so maybe he'll come in another time. $5,000, it's the same exact process, it's just the different starting amount here. So when you're comparing this to your own jobs, guys, as I do this math here, this 32% number is going to be a very good way for you to estimate, what your taxes are in your job. So if you've got your hourly job right now and you want to try and have a more accurate number of what you're actually going to get paid when your paycheck comes, rather than just the mystery, you open it up on a Friday and see how much is in there, you can do this method. So $5,000 a month minus $1,633 taxes. Notice that the taxes are going up per month, which should make sense because each job is making more per month, so you're going to pay more in taxes. So then we get $3,367 per month here. Okay, so those are our three numbers of looking at your post-tax salary for the three jobs. So to look at this last part here, and we'll wrap up this video before we start talking about benefits, because there's a whole nother discussion we need to talk about when it comes about comparing job offers. But based on his current living situation, Coffee determines that he needs $3,000 a month to cover all of his expenses. So he's already done some preliminary work in college, and he goes, okay, well, based on the rent for the apartment I'm going to live in, what my car payments are, utilities are your services, so electricity, water, gas, etc. Entertainment, savings, like entertainment, so like going out to eat or going to the movies or going to concerts. And then savings, because as big kids, you have to have money in savings. We'll talk about that in a later video. But anyway, he did all this preliminary work and he says, based on my current lifestyle, I need $3,000 to support my current lifestyle. So I know we kind of talked about which you might have want before. So now which one would you suggest? Why or why not? Well, he can't take that job. $2,100 is not going to cover his current lifestyle. So he can either change his current lifestyle, like maybe sell his car or something like that. Like if he really wants that salary job, like he loves this company that he's an editor for and he wants to work for him real bad, that he is willing to make less. And he goes, okay, well, I will get a roommate and have cheaper rent so I can afford it. Otherwise, if he goes, no, this is my lifestyle, I can't make any changes, then he can't take that job. He's going to have to take one of these two. Okay. So that's why your budget and understanding your post-tax salary makes such a difference, because if Coffee did not look at his actual post-tax salary, he might have actually taken, he might have been like, oh yeah, the salary job will cover all of my expenses. And it don't because of taxes. All right, so that's going to wrap up this first part of looking at salary and different aspects of figuring out job offers based on taxes. The next video, which is something super important that so many people, including very smart big kids, bigger siblings, aunts and uncles, your parents don't understand sometimes, is understanding how benefits factor into your decision. And this is going to be a really important thing in the next one. Okay. So, wrapping this up, and we will see you next time. Bye.